Hi guys! Today we're going to be learning Listen to the Mockingbird. I'll play it for you first and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Alright, so that's our song, Listen to the Mockingbird. What we want to look at first is our key signature. So Listen to the Mockingbird is in G major. It only has one sharp, and that's F sharp. So anytime you play a C, and that's going to be on the G string up here on your third tape, anytime you play that C, it's going to be C natural, not C sharp. Okay? Next, probably the trickiest part of this song is the rhythm. We have some 16th notes, and we have some 8th notes and quarter notes. So our 16th notes are going to sound like this. Da 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 da. That's our rhythm. And we're actually starting on beat 4 in this song, not beat 1. It's a pickup or an anacrusis. So our first measure is going to be forte da 1 te 2, forte da 1 te 2. That was our first two measures. I'll play that for you now. All right, and notice that the rest is a full quarter note. Make sure you give it a full rest. And it also has a bow lift, so make sure you lift your bow there. I'll play that again. Lift, lift. Okay, then as we go into measure 3, we have some syncopation. Syncopation is where our notes do not line up exactly on the beat. They end up off the beat on the te or the and instead of the 1, the 2, the 3, or the 4. So going into pickups into measure 3, our counting would be forte 1 te, te 3 te, forte 1. I'll play that for you now. All right, so once you get that rhythm down, we need to look at the shifting here for these notes. We have to shift up for the note C natural. All we have to do is move our hand up a half step. So you're moving fourth finger, you're going to go 4, 4. 4 on B to 4 on C, just your next tape up. And then you go right back down. So I would recommend practicing going back and forth between B and C. Okay, so try that on your own when you're practicing. But what the notes really are, it skips from A to C to B. So let's try some of that. And go ahead and go back down to fourth finger on B. 1, 4, 4. Okay, once you get that, you can put those 4 notes together. And that's beats 3 and 4 of our third measure. Then once you get that, you can add the slur back in. So it's separate slur. And then we go back to the B. Looks like we're actually going to start on an up bow there. All right, so now we've made it halfway through our song. Moving on, this is the pickup into the second line. We actually just repeat what we played at the beginning. But this time, the difference is we're going to be much softer. The first time it was forte, this time it's going to be piano. You also might see in your music at the beginning before the forte it says LH, that means lower half of your bow. And then when it says M, that means middle of your bow. So that makes sense, right? When we're going to a softer note, we want to be in a lighter part of the bow. Okay, so now I'm going to play the pickups to the second line. Okay, and then our end is very similar to the end of the first half, except the notes change just a little bit at the end. We have the the same shift and everything. The only thing that changes is we end on a G instead of going back up to the B. We also have a crescendo going to forte at the very end there. So I'll play that again, starting soft and getting louder. Okay, and then that last note is a quarter or a half note plus an eighth note. So it's basically 3 beats. It's 2.5 beats, but you're going to count to 3 while you're playing it. You have a repeat sign at the end, but you don't need to worry about that. Just play it one time through and that'll be good enough. Now the very last thing I want you to notice is we have some accent marks. That's those little V's or sideways V's on top of the notes in the measures with the syncopated rhythm. So it should sound like this. I moved my bow faster to get that accent. Heavy and then a fast bow on those 2 notes. All right, so when you're practicing this, besides shifting and getting to this C, the rhythm is really the most important part of this song. So I definitely recommend using a metronome to practice. Sorry, my dog is being distracting back there. Pippin? No. So you definitely want to use a metronome to make sure that you're staying with the beat. And you're taking a full quarter note on those rests. So I'm going to play it for you with a metronome at 100 beats per minute. Now that's your goal you should end up at, but you can definitely start slower than that when you're practicing and then work your way up to 100. All right, here's my metronome. I'm going to count to 3 and then I start on beat 4. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. That's Listen to the Mockingbird. Notice that when I was playing the metronome, you could hear a full click in that rest. So make sure you can hear that when you're practicing. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.